Sent to the people. Okay, are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, oh, you asked why did I send this message? Is that right?
Yeah.
Alright, I'll tell you why. Because, you can't put it on FaceTime because you're driving.
I stopped and let me open the door and see if I can get FaceTime. Okay, I think I'm on FaceTime.
Hold on. I'm not sure what I did with my beer. Okay, so you asked why, right? Why'd you take the pressure off? People love the pressure. I'll tell you why. Because you're wrong that people love the pressure. Okay. Huh?
I don't know what triggered you to send the message.
Well, here's what triggered me to send the message. Over the past couple of days, I mentioned on my to-do list today is to send a message to the group with the things that we had discussed in the last meeting and our plans for the next couple of weeks, and some of the things that we had noted. So I've been trying to figure out how to, what to say. See, in the last meeting, you would think you had about 6 people who were interested in this material and interested in working on it, reading about it, and so on. Okay? You'd wonder, wait, where were those other 3 people in the winter when you were doing all that work with 2 of them? And I would say, oh, gosh, you're asking really difficult questions. Yesterday, when I didn't know, I was having trouble writing this email. Yesterday, though, I was reading a book, Free Will, and I was making notes. Because I was, just because I was reading it. And also I was thinking, this could be good. I could send them quotes about the will illusion. And that could be better. Because what we had planned was that each person would send their partner some references to get them caught up about biases and the Warsaw illusions, okay? But what are we going to do? We're going to ask these people to read? Have they read in the last 6 months? What? I know they said, oh yeah, please, give me something to read. They said that, they've been saying that for 6 months. So I'm preparing yet another document. I'm thinking this could be material, right? Because these 3, they're always talking about, oh yeah, I'm going to look at the documents, blah, blah, blah. Oh, I haven't read enough of the documents, blah, blah. And here I am preparing yet another document. And I'm going, what is going on? What am I doing right now? I'm just going to throw another document at them? These people that keep saying they're interested in these things and want to read these things, and none of their actions support that? So it's like, I don't feel like doing that, actually. I would rather be talking with Sean and Sarah about real tasks. I'd rather be spending my time on real things, not on, as Sarah said, lip service. So I thought, okay, how do I do that? How do I do that? And so I came up with an idea. The first idea, which kind of carried through, was basically, you know what? I'm going to text them. I'm telling them the pressure off. I'm going to apologize. I'm going to say, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I've been throwing assignments, reading material, projects at you guys. I got carried away. I'll take the blame, right? I won't mention that they, I'm autistic. I'm sure they communicated in one way or another that they didn't actually want to be involved in this. Or at least in any of the way that I expected or talked about. So anyway, so I said, I'm sorry about that, blah, blah. And I'll put it in a way where it doesn't feel, where it's not, what I'm actually trying to say. All right, I'm calling your bluff. I'm done with y'all. I'm done. We're done pretending that we're going to work on this. Goodbye. Okay, so here's what we came up with. Are you ready? Hello, gang and friends. Oh, wait. One last thing. So I called Chris to kind of test it out, right? Could I, in the right way, say, hey, forget what we were talking about last week. I'm not expecting anything from you. I'm not asking you to do anything, and I'm sorry about that. Forget that. We might, we're not going to do the weekly thing, blah, 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 blah. How do I do that? And so I did it. And I think I did it really well. I said, you know what we'll do? We'll instead, every once in a while we'll just have conversations where we're not working on anything. We're not trying to learn anything. We're just smart people chatting. Maybe Sarah, Sean, and I are sharing some of what we've been working on, getting your feedback. Maybe, but we're just chatting, And you know what Chris says to me? He says, I would prefer that. He says, that sounds really good to me. It's certainly better than homework. Nobody likes homework. So I went off a little bit. I go, oh, homework, eh? Homework? It doesn't have to be homework. Just like when you go to work, it's not this thing it's not this homework. Or when you do an activity that you enjoy. When you work on a project. You don't call it homework. You certainly don't say nobody likes it. So it doesn't have to be homework. But anyway, I hear you. It's homework for you. So yeah, no more homework, pal. It'll just be passion work for the people that care about it, that are interested in it. Not just that say they are, but that actually are. So alright, so here's what I said. Hello, gang and friends. I've done some thinking since the last meeting. While trying to draft a message about the spring-winter partnerships, resources, current and future projects, I realized I'd gotten carried away. Easy to do with such a smart, good vibe group.
You did what? I missed that. You gave it out. I realized I got what?
Carried away.
Okay.
Easy to do with such a smart, good vibe group. But now, instead of being expected to learn or contribute, you're invited to monthly chats. Forget the books. Forget the documents. Forget it theory. A number of you have noted it's rare to be able to exchange about interesting questions with smart people. So let's do that. Sarah, Sean, and I will continue our projects and also try to organize fun calls for everyone. We can chat about politics, religion, etc. And not just the original members of the Risers iMessage. Now that I'm live streaming, I'll open these conversations to public participation. Pressure's off, and I apologize for the months-long imposition. Whenever we do one of these conversations, I'll drop a message in this group, and then another with the link at the time of the call. Hope to see you at one. That's good, right?
It's okay.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. It's okay. So you and Sarah came up with this yesterday?
No, this today. I called Sarah and I told her about my issue. That I'm having trouble writing a plan and an update email for people that I'm pretty sure are only pretending to be interested in a plan. That have shown no action in the plans, in any of the plans. And she said, yeah, I get that, yeah. And then we came up with, just the idea of me, I came up with the idea of saying, hey, I'm sorry about that. Never mind what we talked about last week. But then on the phone with Chris, I came up with the idea of, we'll just have conversations, but not where you guys are actually doing anything. We're just chatting. And then, before I sent the message, I go, wait a minute, no. Let's keep their grubby, lazy hands off of it theory. In fact, here's what we're going to do. We're going to just have conversations, nonsense conversations about politics, religion, with zero neuroscience or psychology. They're going to be completely useless conversations, except Sean, Sarah, and I will study the conversations. and use them for our Alaris project, because we're trying to study how people disagree about things, right? And what rules we can come up with, how we can name things that people do. So boom, dude. Just get a few sort of lazy smart people with very little interest in exploring how their own minds function, little self-awareness, to just participate as like normal, smart, etc. humans. And then we'll do the work, the meta work, the evaluation, and so on. So, pretty good plan. And I'll facilitate it like Dad did with Meditopics.
Did Cairo respond back? Or you didn't have a conversation?
So strange. The strangest thing happened, let me tell you. So, I texted her when I was thinking about all this. Before I even called Sarah, before I really had any idea. And I thought, well, I gotta ping Cairo anyway to talk about the plan, about the traveling. So we can also talk about this. So I said, hey bro, thinking about what to say to the risers, like as an update and plan for the future. It's hard because there is such a range of interest / commitment / etc. Are you available for a Zoom to talk about that and our trip? She said, right now I can't. I'm so exhausted. I can't keep my eyes open. But I'll text you when I'm feeling better. So then I sent my message, and then she felt better. She said, no time to wait. I'd still like to hear your thoughts. And if we have time, we can also talk about the trip. If we have time. But anyway, so now that I'm feeling much better, listen, I gotta do some other stuff. But maybe I can call you while I'm driving in like 3 hours. And I said, sure, yeah, cool. She said, no time to wait. She read my message. Oh, Eris didn't wait to talk to me about the range of interest / commitment. He had no time to wait. But I still really want to talk to him about this. So that's cool. I'm just teasing, bro. I know it seems like I'm upset, but I'm just teasing for the live stream. And it's just fun. It's just all fun. And also it's an important step in clarifying things, because oh my gosh, it has been so sort of difficult. Like, do I just keep inviting? Do I just keep sending? And then in every single call, ideas were had, plans were made. And then the same plans were made in the next call. And then in the next call. And then the next month. And then the next month. And it's just like, oh my gosh, how do I feel like I'm forcing them. I remember I called one of them one time. And I said, hey, can I talk to you about the war solutions? This was a couple of months ago. He said, hey, you know me, man. Yeah, please. I love that stuff. Love that. Yeah, down in Baton. And he said, I love that stuff. But then he got interrupted.
What's his name?
I'm live streaming right now, so I'm trying to put people minimally on blast, even though I also don't care about that. Okay, so he says, you know me, I love this stuff. But then about 10 minutes later, he got called into a work meeting, so he had to go because he was working from home. And then which day did he then call me back and say, hey, yeah, so what were we saying about the war solutions? Because you know me, I love that stuff. It wasn't the next day. Do you think it was the day after? Do you think it was the day after that? Do you think it was in the week after that?
Okay.
It was not. It was not. All right. I love these people. And he and we're going to be really good friends because I really like him. I resent all of neurotypical society. The fact that people could go so long saying they're interested without doing anything and putting me in this weird position. But that's society in general. That's not really these individuals. That's how all of society functions, and that's how they have to function in order to succeed in society. So honestly, if anybody is listening, I do not fault you, even if I'm talking a little bit of shit about you. It's really about norms, the mores. It's about neurotypicals, period.
Yeah, and you're trying to work with a group and to bring the group along. You have to have patience, and you have to appreciate they're not where you are. You know?
Yeah, but you're just,
So
I mean,
was thinking about the update. It could have been a document that you've already done, and it could just be, let's just talk about this page 1 of the document, make it bite-sized pieces, and so they can get on board, appreciate, and not feel overwhelmed.
no, absolutely. And if I ever,
If you're going at 200 miles an hour,
yeah,
these other smart people are going at what?
yeah, at about 45. So, here's the thing. Oh, sorry, no, literally, 0. 0. Okay. Huh? You were gonna say 2 miles an hour? Okay. No, yeah, but yeah, no, it yeah, okay, maybe. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. Every interaction has been initiated by me, right? So it's not really about how much they're understanding. It's about whether they want to learn the stuff or whether it's homework. Right? And also, I just can't juggle it. I just can't juggle it in my head. But if I'm ever an elementary school teacher, if I ever start a school, I'm going to do exactly that. Break it down into bite-sized pieces, you know, for the nice people.
Right, and you can't think of it like that now.
No, because I'm actually doing the work that will in the future be taught. So I need to be able to actually do the work. I'm not trying to actually teach right now, except for teach people who are going to then work with me. I don't really even have enough figured out to just teach. I've got more research to do, more development to do. And that's what I would need to spend my 30s on. You know, I'll teach when I'm in my 50s and 60s, you know.
No, that's what I was thinking, is that you're trying to find compatriots or comrades or
Yeah, partners, yeah.
to talk and throw the ideas and stretch and pull the ideas and the concepts.
Right, exactly.
And
if you do 0 of the background reading and hold on to 2% of what I say, and don't have any questions for me, don't do any thinking about it outside, and you don't come to me and say, hey, so I was thinking about this, because that's doable. Humans are able to do that. Sarah and Sean are doing that, and so they have.
You can't give them one concept to think about during the week.
I'm not interested in giving them homework though. I can give them if they want to do things. Huh? No, wait, hold on. Because it's not just the word. He didn't just say, refer to it as homework. Because that I've been putting up with for months. He said nobody likes homework. He said nobody likes homework.
Yeah, it's work. It's really what he's trying to say. Well, we got to do work in order to get from point A to point B.
He don't.
And you can do.
He don't.
Work in the car. You can do it at home.
Yeah.
You can do it in your car.
You can do it wherever you like. But if you don't like it, you're not going to do it, and I'm not going to assign it.
Oh, God. Sabria, oh, my goodness. What am I trying to think? Brain work. Oh, gosh, I'm tired. Okay. C-E-R-E-B.
Cerebral?
Thank you. Cerebral work. Not cerebral.
Yeah, but whatever you call it, he don't like this rose.
He said, but it's what if we have this mission, this goal to help bring other humans to recognize how faulty their thinking is and not appreciating. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
No, I'm feeling real good. I'm feeling real good because that was confusing for me, you know. And it had been, I had tried to sort of do things like this a number of times. Like Leo, for instance, I had been expecting way too much of him. He's not that interested in actually doing something with this stuff. And so I tried to release him a couple of times, and he said, "No, I'm interested in, keeping up to date with it." Okay, that's fine. Okay, thank you. He was clear about that. That he's not as interested in doing the day-to-day work for it. And so thank you, Leo. And then the other ones were like, "Oh yeah, here we are, let's do this." Anyway. So it's been resolved. Sean has given me a thumbs up on my message to the group. So I texted Sean, or I called him, and then he said he's working. So I said, "No worries. I want to get your opinion on whether I meant to say I wanted. Anyway, on whether I should call the spring team's bluff or whether there was a way to engage them if they wanted to be engaged." Then I figured it out. And so then I forwarded my message. He gave it a thumbs up. I mean, Sarah, Sean, and I don't deserve to be spending time doing work when we could be doing work on the actual projects. We're instead doing work for other people because they're just doing none of the work. We don't actually have the time for that.
You didn't even give it a chance, though. 1 week, boom, you blew it up. Sean was going to work with Cairo. Well, why don't you just try Sean still working with Cairo?
Because I bet Cairo didn't call Sean. Sean didn't respond to me. "Oh wait, Cairo and I set up a time." Yeah, right. Caroline didn't try to work with with Sarah. Chris didn't try to work with me. He said to me today he doesn't like homework. So obviously, what am I gonna do with that? I can't get him caught up. Caroline didn't have no questions for Sarah, and I will bet you my bottom dollar, although Kyra created a lovely group chat for them, I bet she has sent this many messages, serious messages to Sean about any of this. And that's okay. Kyra's so exhausted, what'd she say? She can't even keep her eyes open. What are we trying to explain the brain to her for? Well, what for? So that she could think better and maybe even organize herself better and not be so exhausted she can't keep her eyes open. But on the other hand, what are we trying to explain it for? So that's 3 out of 3. Satya, and he didn't even make this meeting because he was traveling. He's got his wedding coming up. So you can be patient with people and encouraging and try to engage them, but after 7 months, it's harassment. Okay. I mean, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on you. Fool me 3 times in the 3rd month, shame on you. But fool me 8 times, that's on me.
All right. Okay. We'll talk when I get home because I have to go to the bathroom now and I haven't gone into these stores.
All right.
So I think it is going to require a lot of patience. And what's the mission statement? What's your mission statement?
Great question. No, I don't have a mission statement.
If you had to just come up with one real quick, just to me, just text me a mission statement.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Yeah, okay. I have a personal mission, okay? But as far as like the group goes, that's the kind of thing we're talking about. We can't even have a conversation about that. Like, we have done nothing It has just been me yammering and them going, uh-huh, and then, no, they didn't understand. But with Sean's, me, and Sarah, we're actually making headway, and we will actually come up with something like a mission statement. Absolutely. And you know what? Now that I'm live streaming, and I've got Sean and Sarah, we can recruit. We can get people, you know? I just grabbed people that I could, and it was great for sort of my confidence to get the ball rolling, and now I gotta let them go.
Okay.
Let them free.
Okay.
All right.
And then if that gives you some breathing space,
Some clarity.
then I mean, when you do the month chats, that can possibly evolve.
Yeah, absolutely. If they're like, hey, I want to do something outside of this. Okay, absolutely. Do you want an idea from me? Yeah, okay. Will you call it homework? I promise I won't. Okay, then you could read this if you like.
Okay. So, cerebral work. Let's just use that for right now.
Well, I came up with
the
yeah.
energy that somebody would put into
Yeah,
understanding
I
something.
outlawed. He wasn't on this call, but I with Chris, with Sarah and Sean, I said, I don't want to hear the fucking word homework. We're gonna call it inter. It's just like a thing that you can do between now and the next meeting that could help with the next meeting. An inter.
Okay.
A between.
Okay. E-N-T-E-R.
No.
No. I-N-N-E-R?
No. The one that means between. Inter. I-N-T-E-R.
I thought it was E-N-T-E-R. Oh, I-N-T-E-R?
Okay. Interact means to act between two people. Do you spell that E-N-T-E-R act? Interact?
Okay.
What are some other inter words? There are lots of inter words, but I can't think of any right now.
Right. And is that a word all by itself, inter?
No, it's a prefix. It's a prefix. Okay. It means between.
Okay.
It's not a word all by itself.
I was thinking inter, the thought process, like motion going. Okay.
Great.
But
yeah.
In between.
Yeah, between our meetings.
Okay.
It's so that we don't have to call it homework. It's a thing you do at home if you want. Between.
Do it in the park.
You can do it wherever you bloody like.
But you are going to have to figure out how to. And I understand this relief for you as well. I understand this. Okay.
Hey, you think I'm not being patient? I'm being patient. You know, with Sean, with Sarah. They've earned my patience because they have questions, they have thoughts, and they want to do things. That's all. That's the bare minimum. That's all I'm asking for. You don't have to understand it all.
Got it. Text me the top of your head. I know it's not but mission statement right now, what you're thinking. And
Okay.
it's okay to do that every few days, but just go ahead and just text me mission statement.
All right.
Whatever comes to head right now, because it's only a few seconds.
Well, if it's whatever comes to head right now, you gotta hang out.
All right, love you.
Love you, bye. You can't really see that, huh? That's petite. Oh shit. Okay. Whatever. Okay. It would just start with 2. Wait, what do you mean actually? Okay, mission statement. Like 2 risers. No. Okay, because there's the mission of. Okay. Mission statements. 1. To find and inform people. To find people interested in helping with mission statement 2 and get them caught up so they can. Mission statement 2 is to help brains understand some of their function and dysfunction. No, some of their function and limits so that they can be more responsible citizens. Responsible humans. Boom. You wanna let me and yeah, I talk a little shit, but I'm also just honest, bro. And I'm not saying that I might be completely wrong on all this shit talking. Okay? Just gotta tell me, explain it to me. These it's right now talk some shit, but that's okay. I'm not saying this is the end all be all truth. Can I go now? I was kind of hoping to see my best friend, bad student. Okay. All right. Very good. Bye bye.